Hello and welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial we are going to learn something about the logical operators. So in the previous tutorial we have already learned about the if statement, how it is used. So we have created the simple basic program which allowed us to test if the student has passed in the test or is he failed in the test. So what we did is that we have taken a variable called score, we have assigned a value to it, and we have checked this condition right here. Now let's say if we have two subjects like physics and chemistry, and actually if we want to test the score of the student in both of the tests, so let's say we have two subjects, and if the student has to pass, actually he need to score more than 40 in both the tests. So in this case what happens is that instead of checking a single condition here, what we need to do is that we actually need to check two conditions instead of a single one. So in that case we are going to use something which is called as the logical operators. So let's go ahead and create a new program so as to test the marks obtained in the two subjects, and depending upon that, let's go ahead and make a decision if the student has passed or failed. So we are going to delete this code and we are going to type in new code. So let's create a first variable for storing the marks obtained in physics. So let's say we type int phy for storing the physics mark, and we create a new variable, so we type int chem for chemistry. So we have these two variables here. Now let's go ahead and assign some values to it. So let's say phy equals 70 and let's say chem equals 90. So as you could see, we have our marks here. The next thing which we need to do is that we actually need to check in if the marks obtained in both of the subjects are greater than 40. So for a simple if condition, we used to write if, and inside the parentheses we used to specify a condition. Then we had this block right here for executing the set of statements if the condition is true, and we have the else block here which we used to execute when the condition was false. Now in this case what we do is that as we want to mention two conditions inside a single if statement, we go inside it and we type in the first statement. So we type if physics is greater than 40, that means the student has passed the physics test. And in order to add a new condition along with the previous condition, we are going to use a logical operator which is called as and in order to add the logical operator and, we are going to add two ampersand signs, which signifies that we are going to add one more condition along with the previous condition. So we type and chemistry is greater than 40. So as you could see, we are able to add two conditions within a single if statement. Now let's go ahead and simply type in what we want to display. So we type system.out.println, and in this case we want to display that you passed the test, and we are going to copy the same statement, paste it over here in the else, and we are going to change the pass to failed. So as you could see, now we have our program set up. Now we simply save the code, and when we run the code, as you could see, it is displaying us the result that you passed the test. And now let's go ahead and make some changes to our program. Now let's say the student has passed the physics test, but he has failed in chemistry. So let's say the marks obtained by the student in chemistry are only 10. Now let's go ahead and check what the result is. So we save the code and we run the program, and as you could see, it is now displaying the result that you failed the test. Now the reason the student has failed the test is because we have set the criteria that the marks obtained by the student in physics should be greater than 40, and the marks obtained by student in chemistry should also be greater than 40. So what happens is that when the computer executes this line of code, he finds that this statement is true, but this statement right here is going to be false, or this condition is true and this condition right here is false. So the result of this entire if statement is going to be false, and actually it is going to execute the code which is present in the else block. Now this is one of the logical operators which we have studied, which signifies that both of the conditions should be true. Now there is one more logical operator just like the AND operator, which is called as the OR operator. And what OR operator does is that it is going to check either of the two conditions. So the student should either pass in physics or he should pass chemistry test so as to actually pass the test. So in order to add in the OR operator, we are going to use these two parallel lines which are present on our keyboard, and this right here is a symbol for the OR logical operator. So the significance of this operator is that it is going to check both the condition and it is going to return the positive result when either of these two statements is true. So for example, in this case the first statement is true but the second one is false, but as this is an OR operator, it is going to return true at the end. So now if we save the code and run it, as you could see, it is displaying the result as you passed the test. So that is what a logical operator is, and that's the reason why we use logical operators inside our Java program. So that's it for this tutorial, and I hope you guys understood what are logical operators and where they are used. So thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Thank you.